Good evening, everyone. Let's Talk TCI Real Estate is live. Please like and share the page. When I say share, I mean share. Share to your stories, share to your friends, share to your family. Let everyone know we are live and we have a very interesting topic for you today, right? So, the topic of today's show is about commercial banking, and we're going to be discussing, services that RBC Royal Bank offers to their business customers, as well as loan applications for businesses as well. But before we get into the meat of the matter of the conversation today, I want to remind you, yes, I always like to give you a reminder just to throw it out there, get in your thoughts in your mind, something that is really that is connected to real estate and to help you to achieve your goals. My reminder for today is about the Bar Association, their free legal advice clinic. So the Bar Association since January have been offering a free legal advice clinic, and it's going to continue until November of this year. So the clinic will be every last Saturday of the month. Great. So basically, they are qualified and experienced attorneys who are having a one-on-one conversation with you to give you a free initial consultation. You can be consulted on matters such as probate. Yes, this is very important for persons who may have a lost loved one who have passed away, and now you want to know how you can manage their estate and how you can tap into getting your family's property resolved. This is something they can assist you with and consult with you on. But not only that, you could dare to talk about all of your legal issues that you may have. Right? So this is a great opportunity for you. If you have a legal matter that you don't know where to turn, the Bar Association is there to help you. One of the topics we've spoken about several times on this show is the role of the real estate attorney. So I'm very passionate about persons seeking legal advice to ensure that they are going in the right direction in regards to whatever matters they are facing. So if you haven't heard about it before, or if you are interested in knowing more about it, you can always send an email to secretary@tcibc.org. That's secretary@tcibc.org. Okay, so that's the Bar Association. I commend them for the efforts that they are taking and reaching out to the wider community to assist them with in any way possible. All right. Again, I hope you have shared the page. Share it once again, because we are getting ready to start, and I'm so excited about talking about real estate. I'm always excited, actually, when I can have a professional come on the show to share their knowledge and expertise with us, the listening audience. And again, one last time, the subject conversation of today is about commercial banking. Now, I've had RBC Royal Bank on the program before when I first started a few years back, but it was the retail department that they were able to come and discuss and share with us. So I'm just elated to now have the commercial department on. I know some of you may say that this isn't what I'm into, but as we go through this conversation, you're going to realize how much this is really an opportunity for you, and this is something that impacts you probably didn't know. And that's why we want to have somebody on to clarify your questions and your comments. So with that said, if you have a question or comment, put it in the comment section, and I'll be glancing at my phone from time to time to see and to have those questions answered for you today. Without any further delay, I have in studio with me in the person of Miss Shanice Swan. She's the manager of business banking at RBC Royal Bank, and I am going to ask her to introduce herself to the listening audience. Welcome to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate.
Thank you for having me. So as Mr. Lancy would have said, my name is Shanice Swan, and I am the manager for the business banking department at RBC Royal Bank. My role encompasses leading the commercial banking team, and that team consists of lenders as well as service providers. So these will be persons that will be dealing with commercial facilities, as well as persons that assist with commercial services like account opening, checkbook ordering, and stuff like that. I myself am also a commercial lender. So that's something that falls within the realm of my business. So that's basically what encompasses my role.
Well, thank you so much for coming again and coming to share with us, the listening audience. I am definitely looking forward to this conversation today. I'm one person, I like to just eat up the knowledge, and especially in the role that I am in, there are many persons who, especially in this real estate field, have questions for us as real estate agents, and sometimes we don't know what the correct answer is. And by having someone like you here on the show today, I'm able to clarify those concerns and be able to speak more knowledgeable to persons about the services that not just RBC Bank offers, but in regards to commercial banking on a whole that can cater straight across the board.
Yeah.
So we're going to get right into the questions. I have a list of questions for you. And again, if you who are listening, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section so we can do our best to help you with those questions. Can you tell us a little bit more about the role of the commercial department in the bank and explain the various services that it provides to individuals and businesses?
Okay. So the commercial banking unit is responsible for facilitating all business requests. We understand that customers need to operate within the island. So any customer that would come in, we would assist from start to finish.
Okay.
So the commencement point would be the customer being banked, opening an account with us at RBC. Whether they have a sole proprietorship or a limited company, we would provide them with the requirements needed, or a partnership. We'll provide them with the requirements needed in order for them to open a bank account. Once the account is open, then of course we would assist them with setting up online banking and giving them various services like merchant services or night depository services, which is something that they can utilize to make deposits without having to go into the branch. Once they are all set up with that, then of course we would have the conversation with the clients to see if there is a need for them commercially and determine home of best fit. So the way that our commercial banking department is set up, we have 3 lenders in total. Myself, another relationship manager, and my small business manager. So for the customers that are just coming in and have been in business for, let's say, about 2 years and want to start off small, we would place them with the small business manager so that she can assist them with any financial needs that they may have. And as they grow throughout the process, they would meet with another relationship manager. So when they come from the small space, they would go into my relationship manager. And then when they've exceeded that small to medium space, they would come to my desk so that I can assist them with any financing needs that they may have. But overall, our commercial banking department is responsible for any business needs that the customers may have.
Okay. Just a question based on what you said just now. I know you've said a little bit about it, but just for clarity purposes, what makes a business a small business when you term it that way? Because we have people go for their business. Is it just because of the startup time, or is it because of the size of the type of finances that they're bringing into business? What classify them as a small business?
So a small business is any business that has been operating, I would say, in the realm of about 2 years, more on the startup a bit scale, but not a startup.
Okay.
So I want to clarify, for startup purposes, financing is looked at in a different capacity than if the business was in operation for more than the 2-year period. So that's a whole separate discussion. But we would look at the type of business that it is and how the business has been operating and how long the business has been operating to determine home of best fit. So say, for example, if a customer has had the business for 2 to 3 years and they're just now coming into a space where they might want to lend and they're looking to expand the business, then we would classify that as somewhat of a startup. But every customer is different, so it all depends on what the customer brings to us and what we review, and then we would determine where they would land in terms of small, medium
or large. Okay. So in regards to properties and talking about commercial properties and business properties, what would you say would be the classification to classify a property as commercial if I'm coming to your bank to borrow in that regard?
So a commercial property is any property that is utilized for business use. So this can be an office space, a storage warehouse, anything that a customer would occupy that allows them to utilize it for business use, that's what we consider as a commercial property. And then on the flip side of that as well, for commercial units or apartment residential units, anything that's more than 5 units would be classified as commercial.
Okay, so basically, if someone has
Well, 4 units.
four
Sorry,
units,
4
okay,
units.
that's it. So 4 units or more, it will be classified as commercial.
Anything more than 4 units. Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
more than 4 units. Okay, so talking about residential, commercial, what's the difference in the loan application process for a residential versus a commercial property?
Well, the commercial aspect of things is a more extensive review, because we not only look at the individual, but we look at the business, we look at the industry holistically. So it does require a bit more information
Okay.
than a personal facility would. For example, we may ask you for financial statements. We may ask you for financial information about the person who's the owner of the business. It depends on the customer, of course, but it is a more comprehensive review that we would have to do in order to do a commercial loan.
Okay. So would the interest rates differ for commercial and then the down payments?
So the down payments are different. On the commercial side, we do anywhere from 25 to 30% down payment, depending on the collateral that's being utilized. So, for example, if a customer is purchasing a commercial vacant land, then our loan to value ratio would be 70%, where they would have to put down 30. And if a customer is looking to purchase or build a commercial property, then it will be 75% and they will put down 25. So it depends on the collateral in terms of down payment. For the interest rate, I would say that not every customer is the same, and our interest rates do vary. So it is something that we would have to review holistically, based on the client, and then determine a rate from there. But I would say, and let me put in this plug, rates are negotiable. So if anyone is interested in getting a facility, please feel free to reach out and we can definitely negotiate a rate on behalf of the client.
Yeah. You're saying the rates are negotiable. I'm just beating off track a little bit. For someone who is really not into this may be their first time purchasing a commercial property or purchasing a property generally. How is it that they go by? Well, I want to ask this question, but I'm just thinking that if I ask you this question, I'm trying to put bad thoughts in somebody's mind to come to RBC and ask them for such a reduced rate. But I mean, how do we go about getting? I know exactly what I want to say, but I'm trying to figure out in terms of, I may have had a mortgage before. I understand what the interest rates is and anything like that. But for somebody who's the first time, even though they want a good rate, if the loan officer hasn't said to them, well, this is my rate, they don't know what rates are out there and what rates are available to know if the rate is compatible or not. So is there any, I'm just trying to figure out any way of, when I say education for that customer to have an idea of what to expect, going into a situation like this, because they will end up just taking what rate is provided. And see, this is what I'm trying to say, because I'm not trying to get RBC or any of the banks in problems, but sometimes we're trying to look out for the best interest of the customer. And if they don't know what to expect, they're just going to take on a rate. And sometimes the rate is not what they are able to afford in order to have, to sustain their mortgage plans. Or sustain their mortgage plan. I know when I did, it wasn't a commercial property, and just generally speaking, I did a mortgage before, and I had the understanding to ask the loan officer, okay, can I change my payment terms? Because when I saw what the rate was, I'm just trying to stretch it out. I knew the questions to ask in order to come to the end results that I was looking for. But someone who is new at it, even though you say your rates are compatible and you will work along with rates, somebody who don't know what to ask for, what do you say to a customer like that?
Well, that's definitely a good question. as a financial advisor, and that's what most of our relationship managers are, they're supposed to provide you with the best information at hand in order for you to make an informed decision. So it is a situation where we will have the discussions with the customers to ensure that they understand fully what it is that they're doing, what they're getting into. And when it comes to rates, I know, for example, on my end, I do have these discussions with customers.
Yes.
What I would say is, customers are knowledgeable and they are in the market and they are connecting with other customers who might have facilities elsewhere. So we've seen cases where they would come in and, have discussions about the rates without us even probing them to. But I would definitely say for the customers who are going through it the first time, make it a point to have a discussion about that, the interest rates. Because most times, and I've seen it on the retail side mostly, they have campaigns going on.
Yes.
So, if you're coming in to speak with a relationship manager, the rate should be a point of conversation just to ensure that you're getting the best rate possible. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
No.
To put you on the spot with that question, but I know when it comes to rates, that's really a big concern for a lot of people when they're taking on a loan or a mortgage.
Yeah.
All right. And in regards to the down payment, just want to make sure, are the rates, you spoke about the rates before, but are they the same for residents versus non-residents?
Well, our rates on the commercial
side.
Sorry,
and I'm not talking about interest rates. I'm talking about down payment. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, on the commercial side, there isn't any. It is the same.
Okay.
We don't have any policy as at present where it's different. So if you come to us, we look at the property just to make sure that it fits the commercial. That it fits the commercial landscape. Okay. And then we would determine from there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
So what advice would you give to a commercial customer who's looking to get a mortgage to determine the success at obtaining a mortgage and maintaining it?
So there's a lot of advice that I would give.
Yes.
First things first, for commercial customers, they need to understand the importance of record keeping.
Yes.
And this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. A lot of persons need to understand the importance of bookkeeping and keeping your financials up to date, because there are a lot of commercial clients who have profitable businesses, but they're not keeping proper records. So if at any point I come into contact with a customer who's looking to borrow, that is my first point of discussion. Do you keep financial records? Are you able to provide us with financial records for the last 3 years? Because that's something that we will be looking for in order to make an assessment. From there, of course, we want to make sure that we're able to verify the banking details that you would have provided in the financial statement. So we'll need to get things like your bank statements, just so that we can match it to what your financial statements are saying. Of course, we need to assess the collateral, make sure that we are providing you with the proper loan to value ratios in terms of what facility is being offered based on the collateral that's being held. And I guess once they have all of these items and they're in this place, then we would guide them in terms of discussing the amortization period, what is expected of them once the facility has advanced, the date that your payment comes out, so that they are aware and make the payments in a timely manner, and make sure that everything is going as it's supposed to go.
When you say record keeping, can you be a little bit more specific? Is it that they need to have a QuickBooks program and have it on QuickBooks, or are there other forms of record keeping that can be used? And I'm talking about this from small to large businesses.
So I've seen other persons use other softwares. I'm mostly familiar with QuickBooks, but if you are able to use any other software that allows you to produce us with a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement, that'll be okay. But I tell my customers, especially the smaller customers that are starting out, you can purchase the QuickBooks software and do it yourself.
Correct.
or even if you want to hire someone to come in and set it up and teach you how to input it, that is something that businesses on island do.
Right.
So you just need to have that track record, because if ever you need to come to the bank for financing purposes, we're going to want to see financial statements in most cases.
Correct. Yeah, well, I think, like you've mentioned, that was the first point you mentioned. I think that was one of the very important points that is mentioned, because a number of persons have businesses on our, especially the startup businesses. And I think that's where a lot of businesses are lacking in regards to record keeping. And only until you now want to borrow from the bank, then you realize even more how important it is, because now you're not just showing accountability to yourself as a business, but you're showing accountability. The bank has to see that you are accountable as well in order to lend to you.
We need to understand exactly what's going on. We know you have the money coming in, but we need to see what's going on. We need to make sure that your business is operating how it should.
Yes. Another question I have for you, how do you access like the credit? Well, I guess this ties in. I mean, basically, we're talking about record keeping, but the credit worthiness of commercial clients who are applying for loan or other financial products. I guess it's back to the record keeping in as well. Then
yes, so we would definitely have to do an analysis on the business, and that mostly encompasses the financial statements. So we have to review that, and then of course we'll look at different things, the industry of the business, and just do a holistic review that would encompasses different factors that we take into consideration. But it mostly relies on the financial statements.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to pause for a moment just to remind everyone, I'm sitting with Ms. Shanice Swan of RBC Royal Bank, and she's from the Commercial Department, Business Banking. So definitely, if you do have a question for her, she's open to answering those questions that you may have today. Just put it in the comment section, and we'll be sure to get those questions to her. So how would you describe, or your commercial loan offerings, how would it be different at RBC Bank than if I were to go to another bank? What do you offer that's different?
Well, I mean, all of our products are tailor-made for our customers. Generally speaking, some of the products do, I don't want to say mimic, but some of the products are
consistent.
Consistent amongst all the other banks in the commercial space. But we do offer some products that are specific to RBC. What I would say is the service at RBC is impeccable, and then we do offer different products that make banking accessible to our customers and convenient for our customers. RBC has invested heavily in digital banking. So you can essentially do anything from your phone. I think the only thing that you would have to come into the bank to do is for transfers over a certain amount.
Okay.
But your phone basically acts as your bank. Once you have the online banking, you can complete wires, you can do transfers to other RBC clients, pay bills. The nonstop depository gives you that freedom to come in and do a deposit drop at any time that you feel the need to do a deposit drop. So we do have different offerings that are specific, but they are tailor-made to our customers. So we would look at products per customer.
Right.
Once we have that discussion, we would determine what product best suits what customer and just go from there.
Okay. I know most of the banks are trying to go as digital as possible and to tap more into technology. Overall, based on what you said, would you say that this is a good direction that RBC is going into in terms of using technology to provide services and up-to-date services for their customers?
I would definitely say so, yes. This has been an initiative that's been taken on by RBC, and I'm happy to see how things have evolved during my tenure with RBC. Going digital is not only good for RBC but it's also good for the customers, right? Because it makes these services accessible to them without them having to come into the branch and having to wait in line or having them to contact someone and wait. They're able to do things at their fingertips. So it is something that I would say is a good move, not only for RBC but for the customers as well.
Right. Would you say that over the years, would you say that the commercial or business banking customers have been increasing? I'm asking this because I know that in Turks and Caicos we can see where the market is very vibrant, and in real estate particular, a lot of people are looking into getting apartment rental opportunities and Airbnbs and opening up businesses for property management companies and a lot of things relating to RBs to real estate, and I'm wondering if the same is reflected in the bank, where the commercial side of banking has increased in the number of persons who are tapping into business opportunities with the bank.
What I would say is when I first joined RBC in 2016, our commercial banking department consisted of 2 persons, and now we're at 6. So we've definitely seen growth. In order for us to have these persons there. So we have our merchant services department that deals with the merchant service aspect of things. And then we have the commercial banking department that deals with the products and services as well as the lending facilities. So there has been growth over the years, most definitely. We've seen an increase in customers coming in to be banked, and that's awesome. So yes, there has been growth, yeah.
So we have one question here. What advice would you give to a small business that is looking for funds to grow the company?
Okay. Well, for a small business, it's very vague, but I'll try my best to answer.
Sure.
So if they have financial statements, I would definitely say have a conversation with the relationship manager at your respective bank, just so that they can guide you. What I've realized is a lot of persons are afraid to speak to the bank, and I want that to go away over time. The bank is not against you. We are your friends. We're here to provide you with sound advice, right? Sound financial advice that would help you to expand and help you to grow. So your first point of contact should be your relationship manager to have a discussion. Outline to them exactly what you're looking to do, and that relationship manager should then guide you in terms of what is needed, where do you need to go. And I always reflect back on the fact that there are customers that would come in and they might not be in a position at that point to do what they want to do. But if I can provide them with the advice to get them to the point where they need to be in order for us to proceed, then that's also a win for me and the customer. So have that discussion with your relationship manager so that they can guide you. And then after that, you can determine exactly, they'll tell you exactly what you need or where you need to be in order for them to facilitate.
You said that perhaps you feel like people may be afraid to speak to the bank, but when you said that, the first thing came to mind was accessibility. But you also used the correct word about relationship manager. And I think that's very important, where persons get to know who their relationship manager is, so that they are able to form that connection and that bond and have someone to reach out to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you probably will be scrambling at the bank trying to find out who is the right contact person for you. And I think that's important, especially with businesses, to be able to get that information up front, and so that their relationship manager can be involved in helping them and getting their business off the ground and where it needs to be.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yes. All right. So just checking, I don't have any additional questions, but what I would like to ask you generally, you are in commercial banking, you know the needs of the people. Is there anything that you feel that you need to say to the listening audience as to what is important to know about business banking with RBC? It could be something that persons don't know is available. It could be something that they are overlooking. It could just be anything that's going to make their business better and give them a better experience with RBC Bank. Please use this opportunity to highlight us about it.
Well, I'll definitely say that RBC has made some changes in the recent years, and there have been things that I have pushed for. So we've upgraded our loan to value, for example. That would have changed. I would definitely tell the listening ear to please come in and make an appointment, speak to a lender so that they can have the discussions with you relating to what it is that you want to accomplish, right? Sometimes, and I feel like a lot of customers feel like, okay, if I come to the bank, I don't feel as though I'm going to be heard. But if you just have that conversation with the relationship manager, we're here to listen to you and we're here to provide you with the sound advice that you need. So I would say have the conversation, most definitely book time to speak to a lender so that we can guide you. And definitely ask about the products. Ask if there's a specific product that we have that is catered to your type of business. That would be a good point to bring up as well during that interaction with the relationship manager.
Right, I think that's very good. I do have one other questions. Do you lend to non-residents? Do you give financing to non-residents? And this is in relation to commercial or business opportunities.
Well, what I'll say is if the non-resident has a commercial facility, a commercial property that they're interested in us financing, then we'll definitely take a look at it. Every customer is different, so we have to look at each customer case by case. But it's not something that I would say no indefinitely. Definitely, if you're interested in obtaining a commercial property here, or if you have a commercial property that you're looking to take equity out of, feel free to reach out so that we can have a discussion and we can determine from there how we proceed.
Okay. I know you've said this before, but just because we're wrapping it up, I want to just reiterate this point one more time and have you answer this question. When we talk about business banking, describe for me the scope in which it entails. Is it just apartments? Is it just commercial spaces? Just give me as much as you can about what all is entailed in business banking, because I don't want people to leave from here just thinking it's one product when it's many products and services.
So I'll say, like my credit department tells me, there's always room to make a case. If we were to look at the specifics of business banking, it is us providing facilities for properties that are to be used for the business or for business use. And that can include office spaces, storage, warehouses, things of that nature. If you do have an apartment complex that consists of more than 4 units, that is something that is commercial. Every client is different and every loan facility is different. So I would say if you're looking to do something commercially and you don't have a commercial property as of yet, there is room for us to discuss whatever property that you do have. So feel free to reach out as well. It's just a matter of us going through the information that the customer provides to determine whom will best fit. So if you have a question, reach out. Feel free to reach out to me. And I will determine exactly who it is to be based with in order for us to assist.
Right. So I'll ask you at this time, please share your contact information so that we can have that to reach out to you.
So my email address is Shanice, that's SHANICE .Swann, SWANN at RBC.com.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So once again, just looking, there aren't any additional questions. I'm seeing you're getting a lot of hearts and a lot of likes. I guess that they're excited about the information that you are sharing with them today. And just for anyone who did not remember, please like and share the page again. And I'm going to actually be running this episode again because I feel like it's so important for people to get the information that is necessary. We want to take all of those misconceptions out of people's mind and bring their attention to what is really available for them to advance themselves. And I feel like there's lots of business opportunities on the island, and that's why we need to be able to tap into resources that are available to us. And so once again, I want to say to you, thank you so much for coming from RBC to share your product and your knowledge with us and the listening audience.
Thank you guys for having me.
Right, so until then, I will say stay safe and remain blessed. Have a very good evening. Thank you. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate and not that of Keller Williams TCI or any of its affiliates. Any action you take upon the information provided on this show is strictly at your own risk, and Let's Talk TCI Real Estate guests or hosts will not be liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of the material. I am not an investment advisor, broker, or dealer.